Do we insert some animal noises here, and that could be the stampede of our voices?
Ooh,
Yeah.
I reckon if you do a lot of coloring, and I'll just say Jumanji.
Yeah, maybe we get like some like dum 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 dum.
Oh, what if our podcast was the drums?
What you mean, like our podcast, as in like you listening at home? Would you be listening to drums?
I just think like more in the sense of if we as a podcast.
Oh, you like it's a curse.
We were a curse.
Like it's a horrid
People
curse.
didn't really like.
You
We
can't
imagine
like,
if we didn't
like
know
in 90
we were a
years' time,
curse.
like the equivalent of like I don't know, like a futuristic movie. It's like, oh god, I'm listening to this fucking podcast.
If you listen to Who Would Watch This, like you die
Like the
within a week.
Yeah,
And we
the
had no
1920s
idea.
Yeah, it's just that's just us like, oh, you guys been listening? You're gonna die. I'm so sorry. My name's Oscar.
Yeah, my name's Carl.
And
And this is Who Would Watch This.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so
So
sorry.
sorry.
I'm so. We
Death's
won't
going.
stop.
No,
though. We'll
no.
constantly record. Oh, you shouldn't have listened.
Welcome to Who Would Watch This, a podcast where we watch a film, chat about the film, and then try and figure out who would watch this.
Today we're talking about Jumanji, which currently has a 45% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 7.1 on IMDb, and a 3.6 on Letterboxd. Oscar, what's the plot?
When two kids find and play a magical board game, they release a man trapped in it for decades and a host of dangers that can only be stopped by finishing the game. Holy shit, Carl.
Whoa.
Carl, let's go real quickly and just say this. I think we're both big fans of Jumanji.
Who doesn't love Jumanji?
Who doesn't love Jumanji? We were just disgusted to find out it's rotten.
It's pretty hated.
Yeah.
It's actually got its worst score is on Metacritic with a 39, which
Yeah.
is really bad. And we were going to do Zathura,
Yeah.
which is
Well, I think
critically.
I think we'll do it next week.
Yeah, we're doing Zathura. Well, I mean, because we were looking at doing Zathura, and then I was like, we should actually be doing Jumanji.
Yeah.
Because Zathura is well reviewed, critically quite well received.
Oh, yeah. Was it Oscar darling? But
Yeah.
the fans just didn't get it. It was too avant-garde.
Yeah. I think, Zathura has a 76% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel as a kid, I was like a bit of a snob going like, well, this is just Jumanji.
Yeah.
What is it? Is it Zach Braff? No, who is it? Dax Shepard.
Dax Shepard. And John Favreau directed it.
Oh, wow.
So it's...
Damn.
Maybe we're going to be like, oh, yeah, pretty good. So, yeah, I think, why did you preface that you wanted to say that we both love Jumanji?
Because I would hate for anyone to listen to this podcast and we're going to tear it to shreds. It's going to be just praises
gonna
from me.
be-
Just
it's
praises
gonna be
from
praises.
Me. Carl, before we get to praise heavy though, should we go back to when we were kind of confused, unsure of ourselves maybe, and to last week when we didn't, before we'd seen the film and we try and figure out who we thought would watch it.
Yes.
Hell's yeah.
Oscar, we made a snap decision and we're going to do Jumanji.
Snap.
So we've got to be very quick. Why?
What
are your thoughts on
I'm
Jumanji?
flummoxed
Yeah.
that this childhood classic is not loved. But I don't know. I feel I'm scared now. It's not as good. But I remember it being scary. I remember having the fun thrills. Who's it for? This is my Robin Williams film. You know, I'm not jumping on desks or dressing up
This
like a
is your
woman.
Robin Williams
This is my
film.
Robin Williams. I'm not into that weird stuff. You know, man. His freaking Vietnam. That ain't for me. 1 hour photo is not my childhood wonder. But this, bam, this is it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Patch Adams is mine.
Damn. Okay. Well, you had a bad childhood. It seems.
Absolutely.
Oh God.
Absolutely.
Okay.
No Jack is mine. I had Jack recorded off TV. I
I've
had
never
Patch
seen
Adams
Jack. That's crazy.
Oh God. I feel like we've promised to do Jack on the podcast many a time. We will get to Jack.
we will.
We'll get to Jack. But yeah, I agree though. I watched Jumanji
I love
a
Jumanji,
bunch.
yeah.
So it is it definitely would be the Robin Williams movie for me as well.
Yes.
If I actually had to think about it.
Yeah.
Aladdin. I guess him as
I
the
don't
lead.
count voiceover,
Hook,
okay?
Hook. It's crazy.
Never
Oh,
seen it.
sorry. I know what mine is. It's Mrs. Doubtfire. I watched Mrs.
I
Doubtfire so
watched,
much.
I watched it for the first time recently with
Yeah,
you guys.
I was there.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it
I
was
all in
crazy.
on that.
I
thought
just
that was
watched
lovely.
you watch it.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Do you see
look
the
at
sparkle in my eyes? That's
Yeah.
exactly how I watched
That's
Jumanji
right.
the whole time. Carl, who do you think is going to watch Jumanji?
This is. I love an adventure movie.
Yep.
I remember watching Jumanji and just wanting Jumanji to happen to me.
Of course.
Like I just really wanted. I just wanted every board game I fucking played to come to life. And
you
I-
do Mousetrap,
Yeah.
and guess what? You set the whole thing up. You're like, all right, here we go, gonna get trapped for eternity, and then you're not.
It's just a dead rat.
It's just a dead rat.
It's just a dead rat.
Yeah.
I think it's So I think it's for any child that has any sort of whimsy. I think it is like a penultimate family film. I think an outrageously good adventure movie.
Yeah.
So I think it's for all. Oscar, who do you think Jumanji is for?
Okay, I'll be contrarian. None. That's right. Nobody should watch this film.
Well, okay, actually, really quickly, when was the last time you saw this? Because I don't think I've seen this in like 7 years.
I don't think I'm similar. I think I watched it aggressively as a child. I can't remember when I rewatched it, but I feel like I could remember the beats. I'm scared as a child. I watch it too much, and that's filling up brain space that we use for like, I don't know, empathy or like science.
Sorry, I haven't got any empathy. It's all Jumanji.
I know that Stampede, the order of the Stampede could not relate to you, emotionally. I'm so sorry.
They're just the Inside Out characters, and one of them's just Jumanji.
Just the board game.
Just who are you? Who's Riley getting puberty? Yeah, I'm just Jumanji.
Ao voices the new Jumanji. She nails it. She nails the board.
Really quickly, this just popped into my memories. I had this on DVD and it was in a 3-pack.
Yeah.
Do you want to take a stab in the dark at the other two that were in it?
Okay, that's huge. I don't think you're going Robin Williams. What year is this? 1995? I want to say like Mike. And I want to throw out there Holes.
Oh, honestly, that's a good 3-pack.
Okay,
I reckon a good 3. I feel like a fun game we'd have is just making a good family 3-pack.
I would love to make a 3-pack.
I love
feel like,
packed films.
Because here's the thing, a 3-pack is inherently cheap. It's for poor kids, and I think those are poor movies. And you can really, these feel like poor movies. I feel like Jumanji's a poor movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
It was, so I had Jumanji, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Okay, damn.
And I think it was whatever the PG Cheech and Chong movie was that they made.
Where
they
they
went back in time.
Gotcha. I did not know they had PG. Do they do weed stuff, or they just kind of?
I think it probably
wacky?
just went over my head.
Gotcha.
So I didn't
They're
even
smoking
know.
a fat doob. You're like, that's just not.
Yeah.
That's not what.
Well, I just thought it was funny because obviously Bill and Ted are stoner characters, and then Cheech and Chong is a stoner movie, and then I get like just
Robin
Jumanji.
Williams is a fat stoner,
Absolutely.
and that's why everything bad happens to him.
Aww.
Yeah.
Not Robin.
No, in the movie.
Oh, okay. I was like,
No. I can't stress enough. It's because he smoked weed, and that's why Rhino came through his house. I'm saying nothing else. Please, Carl. No, please, no, please. That's what I'm saying.
Oscar, I am so excited to say
Yeah.
that this movie holds up entirely.
Yep.
And I think like literally near the first like half of it is a 5-star film.
I think so.
I think it falls off towards the end, but oh
It
my
falls
god,
off a
this
little bit to
movie
the
is
end.
everything.
But the setup, I think everything is. I'm over the moon. I'm having a lot of fun.
I wish movies used to be like this. I just love adventure movies. I will also say I think I only ever saw it once in cinemas, but I quite liked the new Jumanji, and I didn't really like its sequel.
I've got a palate cleanser. I actually just watched the new Jumanji, the first new Jumanji, the Dwayne one.
Okay, well, we can save it if you want. We'll save it then.
But yes, but this
But
one,
I just like adventure films, so I was
feel-
all in on this.
100%. I feel like so often now there's like this weird tag where it's like action adventure and it's like Uncharted, and you're like, it's not much. Whereas this is literally all the genres of the 90s. It's crazy how it got destroyed. I was looking at all the critic stuff. And I really, they're just like, it's a CGI nightmare, like stuff.
Which is crazy when I think now you look at it and you go, wow, what
1995,
practical effects.
yeah.
You get the monkeys are CG and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, you get to the third act of this and I'm like, they built that set?
Yeah.
That is incredible.
They're like, we'll build a miniature house and split it in half, and then we'll build the whole thing.
Yeah, and he'll just ride a line through it like George of the Jungle.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's everything. I love the beginning of this movie because we sort of start 3 different timelines
We start
to get
3
to our
different
plot.
times, right? And normally you'd be a bit like, come on, guys. But I love it. We're immediately in the Wild West, I assumed.
Yeah.
I love this vibe of this. I always love the opening of this.
Same. I love these 2 boys, the beating of the box. I was so triggered because when this boy turns around after they're burying that box and he just says, "May God have mercy on his soul." I just quoted it alongside the movie, and my partner was shell-shocked, and I realized I can quote a lot of the film.
Yeah.
In time, perfect beat.
100%.
But this is the best line reading I've ever heard.
It's chilling.
That's why it stood out
It's
with
really
me.
chilling. And I don't want to compare it to the new Jumanji because it's just a different film.
Yeah.
But I think this is real scary. And I love that a
So
kid's film is
spooky.
just like, hey, we're going to scare the shit out of you.
It's-
I've not seen many like I feel like we've seen like maybe kids films that shine out like Inside Out and Pixar and stuff like that, but I can't think of a current modern film that is scaring kids like this.
Absolutely.
This drum that the Jumanji board does, it's great. It's like diegetic because
Yeah.
in the actual, it's like part of a score, but it's also just terrifying.
It's also the drumming noises preying on people.
Yes.
Like you can have beaten the game and still hear the drums.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh, it's a metaphor. I don't know what for, but something.
Yeah.
Something.
so it's so well set up, and I think what I really enjoy about the movie is it is so weirdly spooky. It could almost be a Halloween film.
Yeah.
It's all
right?
sort of shot on like a dreary day in New England, like
This setting is, I don't know. Maybe I just think this is like 90s-esque.
Yeah.
I don't know how this. Maybe it's just because I watched Jumanji as a child.
same. I was just like, oh, so mum, this is how you lived.
Yeah.
Like,
how
no-
nice would a Halloween be here, though? I think
Yeah.
you've nailed it.
Oh my god, this mansion, by the way, is just incredible.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And I
isn't it?
assume it's real.
I think so. I think the actual mansion is real.
Yeah, I think
Or-
I think all the stuff in 1969 is real, and then I think maybe it's sets for the rest of it.
I mean, it seems silly to not build a set. I don't know. It looks quite
I guess
real.
so. It just feels so grand, and I
Yeah,
love it.
I love it.
It's probably just the art of filmmaking, and I'm getting swept up in it, which is crazy when you're talking about Jumanji.
God, we're so well.
I'm just gushing. I'm
200
gushing
film-
about
I love
it.
to gush.
I
God,
love to gush. I'm going to tell you right now, this is the best movie I've ever done on the podcast. This felt like a break to me. Basically, didn't have to take notes.
I didn't have
Turned
to
out I remembered the entire thing.
1000%. Honestly, I was like, oh, how long? We did a film like 2 weeks ago, and I felt like 20 minutes and it'd been hours. This, I was like, shit, we're at the hour mark? Fantastic.
Oh, time flies when you're having fun.
Oh, yeah, and guess what? Time has flied. We're in 1950s, Carl. Alan
We're
is a
in-
dweeb.
We're in 1969, and I'm going to throw it out there right now. The Alan we see here is not emulating or doing anything Robin Williams-y, and Robin Williams does nothing to emulate this child. They might as well be two different characters.
I'll give the film this. One was in the jungle for 26 years. Maybe he'll be a bit different. I'm going to say that. But I think the cowardliness of it. I will say this. Maybe as a child, I don't know, maybe you want to jump in at this. But I'm a bit confused with the theme because I feel like
Yep.
and as a
Yep.
kid, I was like, man, he overcame what he wanted to do. I don't know what because this child is a loser and
Yep.
he gets beaten up because he doesn't stand up for himself.
Yeah,
And
this was one of my things was I hadn't realized, I guess the dad is bad. Like,
Yeah.
really bad.
Yeah, right.
I thought
feel
they
like-
mended things, but I was like, no, you're a bad dad.
Yeah, no, and he's got massive daddy issues throughout the whole thing.
Oh, and I don't think I'd ever picked up on the daddy issues.
Right?
Because even the dad plays the hunter. And
Yeah.
you're just like, oh, okay,
Damn,
the daddy
it's
issues
real,
are
a
there.
metaphor.
They're all there.
But I don't know what Alan has to achieve. It's very like, I don't know, 80s Reagan, where it's just like, you should kill that bully. You should have killed him, strangled him to death, and therefore you are the bully and you've won.
I loved so Alan is like getting chased by these bullies. He goes into his dad's shoe factory. We
Yeah.
meet Carl. Love Carl. We'll get into
Oh,
Carl.
damn.
Carl is who Jar Jar Binks wishes he was. Carl
damn.
is the height of a hijinks comedic timing side character.
I think introducing him, I'm giving him quite a sad back. Not just like a
Yeah.
sad, just like, oh, damn, that sucks for Carl. I'm all in on Carl. I hope he
love
thrives.
Carl.
And he gets to thrive.
he has a bad day after bad day in the film.
That's an understatement. So
I love that
He-
it's a
he-
shoe factory, which is the most useless
Whoa.
sort of thing. for-
1969, this was booming in Norfolk.
I would have loved it if Alan just rode his bike into where they were shooting air.
Well, they're making like
Jordans. I
he's
guess?
like 1969.
Yeah, he's trying to be like
he's
look
like
at
Carl's
this
like I
Jordan.
made the Jordans, and he's like, well, those will never sell. God, it's a 1995 film, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it's so well done.
But yeah, Carl's shoes gets ruined. Alan's dad's like, get out my factory.
Yeah.
He's
He's like, you're immediately fired for ruining this
Yes.
machine. I also love that Alan's just like, because the dad's like, is Billy Jessup picking on you again? And he's like, yes. And he's like, go out there and face him.
Yeah.
And he goes out there and there's conservatively 40 kids.
Oh, and they've got moxie and they've got style. All of them have organized to stand behind the tree and emerge. I'm talking 17 kids with bikes roll out clicking. And you're just like, Alan's gonna get fucked.
He's going to get stabbed.
Oh, yeah.
I always hated this, always had to look away. total fear.
Oh, yeah,
I
100%.
hated the fact he got so beat up. He also looks. I can't imagine them ever making a children's movie now and having him look this fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, he's the bloody
Cut
lip,
the
black eyes, he's got a cut on his cheek. I'm like, they ruined him.
Yeah.
They absolutely ruined him. And then he doesn't even get his bike at the end of it.
No, he never gets his bike. That never pays off.
Yeah, and also, do we want to know why he's getting beaten up? Because he fucks. That's right. He's the only one of these kids with like an emotionally mature relationship in high school with like a nice female
Oh
friend.
yeah, the major bully's like, you've been fucking my wife, and it's just like, Alan does, and he is, because Alan fucks.
Alan fucks.
Alan's
Alan's
hard.
best friend is Carl, the
Yeah.
coolest man ever. Alan is the best.
They call him Soul Man, and that's also a joke about him working at a shoe shop. Carl's the greatest goddamn man's ever lived.
And Carl's best friend is Alan.
Yeah.
And Alan lives in a mansion and is one of the richest people in town.
Yeah.
Alan's great. I
Yeah.
love Alan.
I hope everything goes well for him.
Alan never changed.
Yeah.
No matter what this movie's going to do to you, never change.
I
Alan.
gotta tell you again, as an adult, I'm all in on the film. There
Yeah.
are things that are a bit glaring.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So we're by the big shoe factory. Next to it, they're excavating for gold, I assume.
Yeah.
And there's Jumanji. So, yeah, I don't know what they're doing here. I'm all in it, though. I'm
I
happy
think
they're
the thing
burying.
is, if you are going to
It's also a grave site. It's crazy they're desecrating graves.
There
Or I guess
is-
the car park
and
for
he
the shoe
can just
shop.
hop in.
Of course. It was 1969. I think this was allowed.
Yeah, I think you
He
can
missed
just
a
do
Magoo's
anything.
himself through it.
Right, he finds Jumanji. He takes it home. He opens it up. It has really cool magnetic pieces.
Yes.
The game conceptually is awesome.
Yes.
I love it.
I think yes. I did take some time and look at the board. It's a flawed game. You know, if you're talking board game mechanics, if you didn't know that, you know, you're gonna have to at one point, you know, fuck off a stampede. The game's pretty. It seems like shooting ladders.
Oh,
but
it's
snakes and ladders with no difficulty.
I loved when there's a part where Kirsten Dunst is literally just like, we can finish this in 5 minutes. There's no skill necessary. Like, that's a line she says. And I was like, you're so right.
You get 2 12s in a row, you've won.
So, Alan's at home. He has a massive fight with his dad. The dad's
Yeah.
like, I want to send you off to another school as a prize.
Yes.
For being. The dad also comes out and he's like, I had no idea how many kids were out there.
Oh,
I
he's
was
sheep-
wrong.
He's sheep.
I
Like,
was
I'm
wrong.
so sorry. 1-on-1, you could have taken it. There was, I conservatively, we all watched. All the shoe guys watched. 18 people killed. Like, they really took. I'm sorry. As a prize, you can go to military school.
Absolutely. And and the mum's just like, and that's a good prize, sweetie. And you're
Yeah.
like, wow, neither of you are being good to Alan.
Here's
Alan,
the thing, though. They give him money, and that's enough love for him.
Mm.
You look at the place. It's money that you're getting out of it, and that's a win.
so Alan goes to run away. He clears out their fridge entirely.
Mm.
He takes what's necessary.
I love this scene. I'll be honest, most of my notes are like, oh, I love this scene.
Yeah.
I don't know why this sparks my childlike brain, but clearing out a fridge
This is
fun.
pure nostalgia.
Yeah.
Jumanji, I didn't realize was just like the itch, the
God, it's
nostalgia
so good.
itch.
It's so goddamn good. We get young Sarah. She goes, "Hey, I heard my cuck boyfriend try to beat you up. That's crazy. Anyway, let's go fuck." He's like, hey, let's go play a freaking board game, okay? I found it in a ditch. Come on." And she's like, "Man, well, you're the hottest guy in town. Even that bloody lip you could fuck." So they play. Things go awry.
Well, she doesn't want to play, and she has one of my favorite lines of the movie, which is, "I quit playing board games 5 years ago."
Well, it's a hard drug. Here's
Just
the thing.
at 9.
We've all had a bad Catan's phase, okay? It gets filthy, okay?
Absolutely.
One day you're counting sheep, and then guess what? You're counting wood. And it's a bad path. You got to give it up, Carl. But she's on the same path. She relapses, essentially, and Alan pushes her to the grave.
I know, and I love in this scene is how carelessly they're throwing dice.
Mm.
Nobody knows how to put down dice gently, and I don't know if the game, if you were to just sit dice down, if the game would be like, "That's a roll."
That's cheating. That's cheating. We find out that's cheating very later on.
I mean, I don't. We'll talk about the cheating. We'll talk about the cheating. But I just think like the game is very cheekily like, anything you do, that's a roll. Like, and I'm just like, so why is putting them down casually not?
Oh,
a
sorry.
roll?
Yeah, sorry. Yes. Well, I don't know. I think because the game. I don't know what the game is. Is it alive? Or
I
is it
guess
spirit?
I'd like to think there is just there is the man that owns Jumanji invisibly hovering, just being like, "That's a roll."
Yeah, no. I feel like
That's
he's
not a. That's a roll.
He's got like a button. He's like, "Yep, that counts."
Yep, he's
in
like-
your mouth, that counts.
Yep.
Yep, sneakily tricking, that counts. No,
He's
please,
like-
it doesn't not count.
He's like, "That's a bat."
Yeah.
He's like, you're getting bats. he's like, what have you rolled there? Oh, buddy, that's a good one. All right, let's trap you in Jumanji.
Are there any? Yeah, this feels. I gotta tell you, as a game mechanic, bad. You should not on a 2-player game. You should not trap. She doesn't roll a 5 or 8. This game's done.
Yeah, I know.
You're
And
stuck in
so
limbo.
it's also crazy too that like, I don't know, he can't roll a 5 or 8 himself to get out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I just feel like this should be this mechanic should be left up to a 4-player game and maybe be a bit more like after 2 goes, around.
It should say they're 3 to 4.
Yes.
And it's crazy to make a game that's specifically 3 to 4, like so that 2 could have no fun.
No fun.
There's no fun to
Because
be
if
had
she
here.
rolls a 4 next round, this is over.
Yeah.
Because then we're waiting for Alan. Anyway, Alan gets brutally sucked into the game. This
It looks
traumatized
great.
me. Because the guy who did the directing is
Joe Johnston.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg's did Jurassic Park effects, I think.
Yeah, and he directed the 3rd Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm thinking.
He's
special effects guy.
Yeah. I think he's an FX guy originally turned director. I think in the industry now, he is a bit of a you grab him if your production's in trouble and you need it done.
Oh, gotcha. He's a doctor sort of vibe.
I think he's just like, is it over like budget and you need it completed? Like because I don't think his track record's very good. Like he did Captain America, the first one.
Yeah.
That new Nutcracker movie.
Gotcha.
The 3rd Jurassic. Like I think he's like
just I'm here.
a competent director that will get the job done.
Yeah.
I think is very much his
I'm
shtick.
over the moon with some of the directing this.
I think this is great.
Yeah.
He's at his best during this time as a director, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And he sort of does quite fun, hokey. I think he did The Rocketeer. I've never seen it, but I think The Rocketeer is quite famous. So,
Yeah. He's a vibe.
Yeah, absolutely. But him getting sucked into the game is iconic.
Yeah.
Cut to 26 years later.
Yes. 1995. A great year
Yeah.
for wine. And this game.
So they're turning this mansion into a bed and breakfast.
Yes.
And it would suit it so well.
Oh,
like, you see the vision.
Oh, 100%. This
Yeah.
aunt and Peter and Judy, we get introduced to Peter, the small boy, and we also get Kirsten Dunst as a child.
Yep.
Nailing it. The aunt is a vibe. I always thought the vibe had style and grace, and she would nail this Airbnb.
Yeah. Oh, she's got money written all over this place.
Yes.
It's a shame that they didn't get sucked into that board game forever by the end of the movie
Oh,
because
yeah.
we're being deprived of the most beautiful bed and breakfast in New England.
Oh my god, New England seems like a vibe. It seems like that's money, right? I don't know. I think it's it's like a Maine. It's like a
Yeah, like it is.
It's bougie-ish.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I won't
It
pretend to
looks
know.
it, and if you're having a little B&B up here, you know,
Yeah.
it's got to be a bit bougie. I can't believe she's going to put for this mansion on an aunt's salary, but good for her, huh?
Oh, I assume she inherited some moolah from the kids' parents that had died in a car accident.
Yeah, no.
2 dead parents, you've hit the jackpot. Thank you very much.
Yeah, she's got stuck with these 2 kids. One lies a lot, Kirsten, and one isn't chatting. But you know what? That money, that mansion money's coming
And
through.
I love the 2 kids call each other out because she's like, you need to start talking, otherwise they're going to put you in a fucking hospital. And he's like, yeah, well, stop lying, you bitch. And you're just like, the siblings.
They've captured siblings because they care for one another, but they'll
Yeah.
push each other in front of us like that.
I love that the bats still live here
Yes.
as well. Like,
Yeah.
it's fun that the
They're
bats never
stuck.
left.
Like it's almost their curse, you know. What's the
know.
bat like? Life?
What's
like 5 years?
Jumanji from the POV of the bats?
Well,
That's
it's
a
a riveting-
Pixar film right
Yeah.
there.
A bat lives in an attic for 26 years. What does it learn and what does it grow?
It's like Pixar's Buried. You know, that'd be good. The kids love joking about how their parents died.
yeah.
Rough. I love that
Kirsten-
the aunt steps in and is
yeah,
like, no.
Yeah, she's like, hey, come over here, real estate lady. They didn't tragically die by a boulder, okay? They just died in a car accident. Classic dead parent stuff. Nothing silly.
Yeah.
Nothing wacky.
I love. Can you even do this anymore? But just move into a semi-furnished place that just has the furniture from earlier.
Some do. Some
Yeah.
do. Yeah, this is like a thing. Which is odd, right?
Yeah, that you
I
can
don't-
just buy everything.
I
that was
don't know
in
whether
it.
it's an Australian thing or like an old mansion. I'm sure like a cursed mansion. You gotta keep all
It
the
must
painting.
be when there's nobody to inherit it and sell off individual items that they're just. Is it just a package deal? It's abandoned, so then it's owned by.
Yeah.
Because if they're
Well,
saying,
then it'd be more like it's on you to get rid of the stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
So then it's easier on because in the end, who's ended up with this mansion?
Oh yeah.
Like who's the money going to? Because if Robin's dead,
so let's say the parishes, they perished.
yeah,
Yeah, a bit of fun there. And then what? This goes down to. Well, they knew him at the end of the party. Maybe there's something there. I don't know.
No, because I think we'll talk about the ending. Because if there's one thing that's confusing, it's whatever the fuck the ending is.
As a child, I'm like, that's happy.
That's great.
But anyway,
I don't get it. Yeah.
The
But also let's applaud the aunt. She steps up. She's doing a great job.
Did you that stepped up?
These two kids are a nightmare to raise. I would hate to do it. They also are clearly still hung up on their parents. Get over it.
It's been 6 months.
It's been 6 months. I'm sorry. Say a word, stop lying. And she's still putting up with it. I love she's like dishing out dinner and she's like, I've got to go in to talk to the principal on your first day. You guys are going to be the death of me. You fucking monsters. I'm glad your parents died.
If this B&B wasn't fueling oh my God, it's fueling everything. If it wasn't for this, you'd be done.
You'd be out on the curb.
Yeah.
I love it because she's also not a mean aunt. She's just she's like, play with your toys. Like, I'm trying to make a life for us.
Just don't be a dick, guys. If anything.
Yeah.
Like every character has a flaw and yet are lovable. And
know.
how do they do it?
Oh,
how
is
do they do
Jumanji
it?
populated with human beings?
Man.
Maybe. Remember when films used to be... Imagine saying that about...
What the hell were
Somebody's
critics
going to quote
thinking?
me that and I'm going to be like, yeah, okay, don't fucking... It's fine. But it's not my fault Jumanji's filled with three-dimensional characters. Give it an Oscar. See if I care.
The kids go exploring like kids do. It's a big rickety mansion. It's got some secrets. One, either Alan's been chopped up in the body, is in the mansion, or there's a board game. They start playing the board game card.
I love how quickly they're like, we're playing this.
Yeah.
I wondered as well in this viewing as to why they don't come out of the board game, but rather thin air. The elements.
Well, the elements. What do you mean?
So, for example, they're like, oh, there's bats.
Yeah.
And the bats don't then fly out of the game. They then come from down the chimney.
I think visually it's more interesting.
Oh,
for the
I
movie.
get that. But
Yes.
are we saying that they are... Because they all get sucked into the game at the end. So they're being teleported from a jungle...
Oh, I see.
to here.
Your issue is the spawning point.
I think they need to be coming out of the game.
See, okay, and I agree with you, but I know for...
Then, shall we
That
leave
was-
it there? Then we can leave it there if you agree.
Listen,
a
no.
fatal flaw.
No, I'm not going to
In
dock
this
the
4.5
point because they
film.
definitely had a meeting. They had a meeting going, hey, technically the batch come out of the board game, and someone went, hey, visually that's going to suck if every single... It's going to get real repetitive, isn't it? Then every time we go, oh, there's a stampede. Where's the tension? There's a rhino in the board game. There it is. And it has to do that sad thing where it crawls out. It's not going to be fun visually, okay? And that was a meeting they had in 1994. So let's put a pin in that, huh? Let's put a pin in it. Carl, there's some mosquitoes here. They're quick with it's a disaster movie.
It is, yeah.
I feel like let's throw that into the genre as well. These mosquitoes looking good. I'm not going to dock the points.
I'm not going to dock the points on
Yeah.
the mosquitoes. There's a handful of... There's some animatronics I'm actually really impressed with, and there's
Yeah.
others I'm not, depending on how they're done.
I'm loving the lion. Do we jump to the lion? We got mosquitoes.
We got mosquitoes, we got the monkeys. I think
Yes.
the monkeys are important to highlight because
Yes.
one, they do look terrible.
They do.
They absolutely look terrible,
But
and there's
I
no
think
coming back from that.
But I think they capture the vibe of what a monkey is.
They
and
do.
dare I say, they're the minions of
They're
1995.
definitely monkeys.
Well, yeah,
like
they're
that's the thing.
monkeys.
They're raging havoc.
Yeah.
But the thing is, my favorite thing is they go and they're just like, oh my god, there's monkeys in the kitchen. Let's go roll. And I'm like, oh, just we're leaving them. Like, love that they're more than capable to play the game and just leave the elements to do their own thing.
They have a throwaway line just like, man, I reckon we could smash this out like now. Let's just get this done.
Yeah.
It would be crazy if you could finish Jumanji in 6 minutes. Like if you just kind of just like you just speed
rapid-
run.
rapid roll.
You get 4 people around just speed run. I think it'd be fine.
Yeah, you'd be sweet. I do enjoy that in this scene, Kirsten Dunst is like, oh my god, I didn't read this half of the board. Violent things come out and you can never not play unless you finish it. It's just...
Spins it. Okay, there's a good chance we're going to get sucked to the board game. And
She's
live
like,
it
I've made a grave mistake only reading half the board. I do apologize. These are in bigger letters than the other half too. I wouldn't pass on
It's
eye
crazy.
test.
The ones I read was step 4, so I really should have... context clues would state that this should have been step
All I
4.
saw here was roll, and I just stopped reading below it, and I do apologize.
Here's the thing, I'm a rebel, but I'm a slut for instructions. I love order, and I love authority. And when a board tells me to roll, I roll.
I also want to throw out that I love calligraphy, and frankly, this is a beautiful font. So I didn't take in the information. I just admired. I simply admired, and I do apologize, brother.
That's not like to a brother, that's just like a slang term, you know?
She's talking to Carl.
Sorry, soul brother.
Sorry, soul man. Sorry to read the instructions on this shoe machine.
We get the fun animatronic of the lion. I think the lion looks great. They've done this puppetry thing. It's a bit of CGI combination, but then Alan's here.
Alan's back.
Alan jumps in, he fucks this lion and goes, hey, We playing Jumanji? Shit, I'm out of here.
Yeah, he's
I'm
like,
not coming back.
absolutely
That shit
not.
traumatized me. I've been for here for how long? I am not coping well.
Yeah.
The film quickly goes, like, we kind of get over it. He gets over it, but he's a bit freaked out. It's got some really sad, tender moments.
Yeah,
I quite
so
like
he sort of runs around in a panic. He meets Carl briefly. The monkey steals Carl's car. Carl never has a fun time with his car. We'll say that for now. Robin is running around town.
Yeah.
He goes to the shoe factory. It's in shambles. The kids are following him everywhere because they think he can be the one to help them finish the game. Because he can be a protector, of course.
Yes.
He goes into the shoe factory and he sees somebody's living upstairs.
Yeah.
And he goes up there, and it is the most beautiful homeless man you've ever seen in your life.
It's pretty wise,
Calm,
isn't he?
cool, collective, has all the knowledge. He gifts Robin clothes.
Yeah, he's like, you need some coffee, man.
Yeah.
He's less of a, like, he's just like a wise bum. I think that's what it says in the
he
credits.
Seems mystical.
He does,
because
doesn't
he's
he?
like, oh,
He's got a calming voice to him, doesn't he?
yeah, and he's like, he knows everything about the past. He's
Yeah.
like, yes, your dad basically died of a broken heart. Spent all his money looking for you. He loved nothing more than his son, and you're just like, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
think that's the vibe I got from him.
Yeah, but as a kid, I'm like, that's our boy. That's
Yep.
our dad.
I was like,
oh,
we've gotta
man,
get back
We've
to
got to
Dad.
get back. He's
He
the
never
best.
not loved
he never
Alan.
steered us wrong, even
Yeah.
though all we've seen him is steer us wrong.
All we've seen is him
Hard
making-
lefts into wrong street. It's aggressive how bad the dad was.
That dad gambled on him when he saw him getting beaten up.
This, I feel like this joke's been made before already, but just the fact this guy goes, oh, you guys looking for the Perishers? Yeah, I see him around. Up on that big hill up there. Smash cuts to a gravestone. My God.
It's so rude. No wonder he gave him clothes to soften the blow.
You
Just
need
be like,
coffee? You're going to throw it in my face pretty soon, so don't worry.
I can't wait till I'm at a point where, I don't know, you're dead, I guess. And
Yeah.
people are just like, oh, where's your podcast host? Oh, I still see him. I'll take you to him if you like, if you want to talk to him and just drive you to a grave.
It'd be crazy if you set up like a podcast studio, like I'm a piece of ash with like a microphone to me, like a Britney mic. It'd be a fun puppet show.
Oh my God, no, your microphone with a Britney mic? That's great. We're
We
definitely
are-
doing that.
we are both
Can't wait
Britney.
for you to die.
Once you perish, we can start puppeteering you and taxidermy you. It's going to be great. It's going to be good.
You are going to get so filled with fluff. I'm also going to position you in the weirdest little, like, frame. You're going to be like, I reckon you'll be going to go, like, give just like a random person a bear hug, and that's just a weird stance for you.
It would be a taxidermy bear. You know what I think you should do with the Beatles, real quickly? I think you should make them into the YMCA. I think once Ringo and Paul die, I think you should dig up John and get George there. I think we should put them in a funny position.
Until you said, I just thought they were all dead.
You really thought it's famous, it's fitty. Everyone knows that. A flip of a coin, that's the Beatles.
I know one of them's in 4 or 5 seconds for Wylan. Or whatever that one is.
Man, I don't think you said a single
John-
word right. I don't
John
think. No. One more time. Say that again.
4 or 5 seconds from Wylan, I think is the song. And we've got 3 more days till Friday.
Who's in that? You tell me. Who do you think is in that?
Lennon.
Sorry?
Lennon.
Perished.
What, like Alan?
Yeah, he's been similar to Alan. He got shot pretty aggressively.
Nah, it was definitely a Beatle. It's definitely.
You tell me which Beatle it is. No, you tell me who the other 2 people in that music video are.
That is a question. I think I know.
It's also not whiling as well.
What is it?
I think it's riding. 4 or 5 seconds from riding.
I think it's Wylan.
You're saying it like a Looney Tunes character.
I think people.
You
yeah,
sound like a wabbit.
yeah, because I think people were like, "That's not a lyric," and then
I don't trust your judgment. You still don't know who Paul McCartney is, it seems.
He's been dead for a long time.
Famously shot, I believe, or had a lost cigarettes and died of cancer.
Here we go. 4 or 5 seconds lyrics. This is a Kanye song. There you go. Look at Chorus by Rihanna.
Wilding. You're saying whiling. Like,
That's how they say it.
no, I think you're...
They've spelt it wrong.
I don't trust you. No, they're saying wilding.
No, you're giving it an ing. It ends on an N.
It doesn't. It says
You
in.
need to go Walden.
No. You willing? I
welcome.
believe Rihanna in a thick Yorkshire accent goes, she's wildin'. She's wildin'. And Paul McCartney's strumming and Kanye's rapping and it works.
It's honestly, it's just a Scottish Scottish pop song for the ages. Robin's like, okay, I'm just gonna go home and mourn.
Yeah. The kid's like, come on, play a board game with us.
Imagine living your life in the jungle for 26 years, coming back to reality. They've moved forward, your parents are dead, and somebody's like, play a game.
Yeah.
Play a game with me.
First thing that would be on my mind, wine. What is it and can I have some? 2, can I get hard drugs? 3, can I please shit on a toilet? Doesn't that be a dream? There's a lot of things you do before you get into Jumanji. You know, there's time.
So while they're out and about, they also see the people starting to get stung and maybe killed by the mosquitoes.
Yeah, I didn't really pick up with the subplot as a child, but there's like 100 people who've been hospitalized by the mosquitoes are running rampant.
I do love that we actually get to see the real world effects of Jumanji ruining the town.
Yeah.
It's a bad vibe. They go home, they eat a nice meal. There's a cold monkey in the fridge, and I've always loved cold monkey.
I loved Cold Monkey. Cold Monkey is a good vibe. He's shivering. Like, Robin freaks out, but this monkey's off to the races. It's just a bit of fun. Nothing wrong with the monkey.
If there's one thing I've never forgotten, Robin Williams has the most intense monologue about fear for no reason
The
to
hell
a child.
is going with this? This is, he goes, sit down, kids. The jungle will eat you alive. And you're like, oh my God. It's harrowing. It's justified because he has been there 26 years. But he pretty much goes, this isn't a fucking game. I'll play this board game, but we're not fucking playing. Okay?
Yeah, we're surviving.
We're fucking surviving.
He's just like, for the last 26 years, I've been hunted day after day by both wildlife and an actual fucking hunter. So don't encourage
You
me.
ever been poached? Yeah. That's my life for 26 years. It's
You don't just order your eggs that way. It's the way I've been living.
Let's say I've been fried quite often. No, not egg. I've been scrambled quite a bit. We go to
You
Sarah's
reckon your
house.
life's sunny side up, kid? Look down.
Yeah, pretty down.
It's pretty freaking down right now. They go to start playing, and that's when they realize they're playing the same game that
Yes.
Robin Williams started. And they're like, oh, well, it's your go then.
Yeah.
And I've never forgot. I feel like this movie's just literally filled with line readings that are stuck in my mind.
It's it's punctuated and it's a good scene, but it seems a bit after that big monologue.
Yeah.
It feels flat, but God, it's good.
He's like, oh, it's not my turn. Whose turn is it? Sarah Whittle.
God, and he chews on that whistle.
He
doesn't
does.
He? God, he's good.
He is giving a full drama performance in the middle of this movie. Like, he is like Full Metal Jacket just ruined by war.
100%. It's pretty. I think we don't really see any of his cheekiness until Sarah rocks up. I'm in love.
I love Sarah.
Bonnie Hunt is nailing this
She's
role.
so good. Here's 2 things if you know she's going to nail it. It's Jumanji and those Cheaper by the Dozen movies. She's so good in Cheaper by the Dozen. Man, should we watch Cheaper by the Dozen?
Well, we probably should actually, shouldn't we? Oh, which one's the bad one?
The second, I mean, they're both poorly, but they're both poorly
Oh,
reviewed.
they're a bit of a vibe, though. I like
They
it.
are.
Oh,
I
we
love
did
them
Your
both.
Kind of Owls. That's right. We did that one.
That's right.
Bad.
Yeah, we did the Zach Braff Cheaper by the Dozen, and Bonnie Hunt wasn't
That
in
one's
it.
a sad one. That one's
Was.
really bad.
That was just Zach Braff embarrassing himself for a while as both a character and an actor.
We go to Sarah's house. I feel like we did a 90s film recently where therapy is just such a joke. And it's
Yeah, they're like,
it's
who
a
would do that?
Leaps and bounds. She's like, yeah, I've been in therapy for years because I saw a boy get sucked to a board game. And they're like, and I think the little boy's like, therapy? Really? Get together, woman. She's not too keen to
She's
start.
not doing well.
No, she's not doing well.
I do love that she has to call a therapist and just be like, we said it wasn't real, but it's feeling really
Pretty real.
right now.
I'm on the board game and Alan's back. So what's your interpretation on this?
I do love that she's also stressed she's going to get charged for the hour over the phone for leaving a voicemail. So they make her play, and the Robin Williams pulls a fast one on her.
Yeah.
And it's pretty sick. I just
pretty
think that's a
great.
really good way to get someone to
It's
roll.
real good. He's like, hand me the dice. We'll play. He moves his hand and he does this little cheeky grin. And you're like, damn, Robin's back in a big way. He was trauma dumping a moment ago, but he's back. Now she's the silly bitch. Now she's being the one that's traumatic.
Turns out he's addicted to Jumanji.
Oh,
That's
God.
what it comes across as. I'm
It's a high. Here's the thing. This board game gets you good, Carl. A couple of rolls and you're in. One stampede and you're hooked.
I would love it if it turned out he was never sucked in. He's just a crack addict from the street. Just heard some rolling dice and just thought, they'd be tweaking in there. And then ran in, saw a lion, defeated it, and then was like, 2 kids to vibe with. All right.
Yeah, I love he was like, the Lions were the least of my worries.
Yeah,
What am I get my
absolutely.
next score?
I'm going to say up until this point, movies traveling at a fast pace, and there's been a good amount of mystery as well surrounding the game, how it's played, what's going to
Yes.
come out of it, getting the band back together,
Yeah.
the time jump, where all the characters are. This, up until this point, I think is where the movie is at its best.
Yes.
And unfortunately, what happens here is we then just watch them play the game.
Yeah.
And I think it loses a lot of its...
I think the film even knows that, because I think less so that it's like, we're going to play the game. And I think the movie gets bored of that and they go, we're actually going to try and stop them playing the game, and they're going to experience the world outside of it. They're trying to get the game back for most of it, I think.
This is where it just feels like the narrative... It feels like it's actually like they've got a lot of story to try and unpack until it gets to this point. And they're like, it's just about rolling and defeating what comes out now until we just can finish it.
Yeah.
So it
gets
feels like
repetitive.
it gets really repetitive, which is the shame. I think the highlights are I love the vines. I think the vines are an amount.
This puppetry is really
It's
fun.
awesome.
Yeah.
Obviously the hunter, who I've always loved.
We've got the poacher, as you say. His name is Van Pelt. I never knew this. That's really fucking fun. I think a highlight, he goes to a gun shop. I've always remembered
I just
this.
assumed this is how you buy a gun.
Yeah.
And it's just you give them some gold, they lock the window, and they give you a sniper. And I just went, oh, wow, how America do be doing it different.
God, I love it, though. They're just like, here's an assault rifle for you. And it's pretty funny. He's been doing a musket the whole time. Really fun stuff.
So good.
They really do just like kind of lose the game quite a bit.
It's
quite
just,
odd.
I mean, like a pelican takes it. I think the pelican's the worst animatronic, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the animatronic?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
It's stiff as a board.
That's pelicans.
That's just a pelican.
You don't know pelicans, man. You don't know
I do be
pelicans.
knowing pelicans. Its beak can hold more than its belly can. We also have the boy cheats.
Yes, the boy places dice down on the board, which you said earlier is not cheating, is not a dice roll.
I'm
but
just
it
saying
is.
because the board's just like
The board
you
knows
didn't,
it's
you
cheating.
didn't know, but the board's like you didn't mean to roll,
Yeah.
and thus that is a roll, and it's being cheeky, and
Yeah.
then it's just like so if you play around with it a little bit, the board's just like don't be coy.
The board
Like,
has got its mind of its own. I quite like the board because the board's, it's fucking with them.
Yeah.
It's already fucking with them. That's the actual game. But the board's also a bit like, okay, no, you cheated there. Let's fuck your face.
I really also enjoyed the fact that the boy becomes like a monkey.
Yes.
And he starts to cry, and Robin Williams is like, "Damn, I've become my dad." And the son and the boy's just like, "It's not even that. I'm just growing a tail, and it hurts.
Yeah.
Help me out."
I'm going through monkey puberty, and I don't think you've seen puberty. You've been in the jungle. I'm growing a tail. I'm trying to make cells. Yeah, I'm exhausted, man. Do you know how much energy it takes to sell? That's about 40,000 calories I need to burn so I can get
Also,
this tail out.
flat out, Robin, I'm a baboon, so my ass hurts. It's getting raw
It's
down there.
itchy as hell, and I've got this wacky nose, and it's not silly. It's actually quite part of me. Okay.
It is. Oh, what did we think of his makeup? The kid.
I watched this with my partner, and I remember she was just like, I was terrified of this as a kid. I did not vibe it. She was like, the monkey, where the boy took as a monkey, hate it. Absolutely repulsed by it. And the ending spiders. When the monkey showed up, she was like, oh, that is just a boy in makeup. I think it's impressive, but it was very much deflated by that moment. I think it's good. I think it's good. I'm
I
impressed.
think they obviously go for the motions. The stampede happens in town.
Yes.
There's lots
I do
on.
love the mole scene. I do love that. I remember that being a very fond moment for me. I
Yeah.
like this.
I always loved all the paint falling on him.
Yes, that man's dead. Van Pelt should be dead.
Yeah.
Crushed to death.
Should be crushed to death,
Yeah.
but nothing would kill him.
He's
Do
part
you
of the
think
board.
he's killable?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think the rules of this game is that like this man can't die.
Because he's also just like, they're like, why aren't you trying to kill me? And he's like, because you didn't roll.
Yeah, right.
So but they also allude to the fact that he has a history with Robin back in
I
Jumanji.
assume he's been hunting him in the jungle. What do we
So
think?
is the game permanently playing regardless of the game being played?
No. I think you might be basing that off the... well, actually, no. It's based on a book, but I think you might be basing it on the new movie, right? That it's like a jungle, and he's poaching him. I think because Alan is playing the game, they've made up the jungle of Jumanji, and he was poaching there.
Right. Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Are you thinking it's just like a continuous
Well, it's
place?
just like, so I'm just saying.
Do you think they're taking like stuff from Jumanji and throwing it into the real world?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what they're trying to say, because it seems like he obviously has a relationship with this poacher. But so the poacher's only ever hunting what is rolled, why was he hunting Robin Williams inside the game?
I think because that's free. That's free time. You know, you do what you want.
So he was just
You're on your break. You're on your like metaphorical break, and you can hunt who you want. But when the game's like, hey, you're going into the real world, but you gotta behave. You know who you gotta hunt. No one else.
Do we think the poacher always resembles your own father? Like, does Jumanji?
That's just a crazy coincidence, and that's the
You
weird
reckon?
thing. The board game was like, whoa, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Like it was surprised itself. Like that's crazy. It's a good metaphor, but we did not mean to do that. We just hired a different actor, look alike. That's just lucky for us. You know?
I think it's the game only feeds on people with father issues.
Gotcha.
And so they're just like, nah, that's always going to resemble the dad, the poacher.
I guess, do the kids have father issues? I guess it's his dead, so I guess maybe they do.
Because this is, in the end, is the game's objective as a concept. Does it want to cause havoc, or does it want to give a moral lesson to whoever plays it? And they go, I actually had a great time. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
Like, do we think
Well,
the game has never actually harmed anyone, and it's always just been a good time, and people are misinterpreting that the game can't really hurt you?
Let's take that in that case. Let's say Alan, 26 years of trauma.
Yeah.
Does he unlearn that? I don't think so.
But they
doesn't-
say he does.
What?
They say at the end, they're like, oh, I'm losing my memories of being an adult.
Okay, huge. Well, then maybe.
And
Well, then,
so that's why
well,
they're like, we should kiss now. And so I'm like, so his trauma is being undone. And in the end, it'll just be a fun game they play.
Could you then say, though, we've seen the Wild Wild West boys at the start, and they were like, may God have mercy on their soul.
Yeah.
I think they were not a fan of Jumanji.
I think, no, but that's because I think they almost died. But
And
you
thi-
can
and
never
you-
actually
and you
die.
wait, so hang on. Are you saying that after they buried that went, you know what? We actually learned a lot today.
No,
And they
they
went,
don't-
so wait, no.
I'm saying, here's the game.
Can I also say, 100
Yeah.
people have died in this town. If they don't finish this game...
But they don't actually die.
Okay, so we're definitely... if that's the case, we're definitely agreeing that the message is you gotta keep moving forward and finish what you start.
You've just got to finish the game. And
Yeah.
the game's essentially saying, I'll restore it all to normalcy.
Yeah.
And you'll have learned a fun lesson
Yeah.
if you just finish it.
So you got to. So whatever you want to do, you've got to finish. That's the message.
Yes.
So when Alan tried to beat up that bully, and the bully beat the shit out of him,
Yeah.
and he didn't learn. He did learn that. Hey, maybe you shouldn't. Are you saying that maybe the Jumanji wouldn't do that? Because I think Jumanji at any point could have turned around and smack you around the face.
I'm
and
going
killed
to tell you right now, when you look at the course of what the game does once it's come into the movie, has it hurt a fly?
Many.
Who?
What do you mean who?
By the time we get back to 1969,
Here's the problem.
they're just hugging.
No. I think because the game went, fuck, no one's ever not finished the game. No one's ever been stuck in the jungle for 26. I'll be honest, we actually just rigged it. You get a 5 or 8. She was going to get a 5 or 8. She didn't roll. So they're like, oh, fuck. We have to then... Because normally, how you play the game is, let's say we played the game.
Yeah.
It'd been about an hour. Everything gets sucked into the board. Cat in the Hat rules. Everything's fixed.
Yeah.
Okay? Still the memories of it.
Yeah.
The board game went, fuck me dead, 26 years of trauma, we're going to have to do a lot of reversing, okay? So it's a mind boggle. I'll be honest, the person who makes Jumanji or owns Jumanji was a bad one.
I'm just saying, but when you have a look at by the time the entire movie's restored, is anybody harmed?
Again, there's 100 people in the ambulances.
Yeah, but that never happens to them because we go back in time.
But let's say that what I'm saying is it's a normal game. It's been an hour. Yes, everything gets sucked in the game. But let's say I've lost an arm. Like, does my arm just get sucked back into me?
Yeah, I reckon. And because
I don't think so.
At the end, the camera pulls out and they're just hugging.
Yes, because
They're
I think
not harmed.
because the game had to do that because it's been 26 years.
No, I think the game just does that every time. And the game's just like, I've never actually harmed anyone. I'm just super fucking immersive, and everyone just gets freaked out.
I don't understand.
But you should
No. Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
Sure. But what if you die and then you don't finish the game? Because then you wouldn't be able to finish the game.
But nobody's died. I think it's impossible for you to die.
I think people have died and
I
have
just
finished
think
the game.
I just think that poacher is an incredible aim, and he doesn't hit him once. And so I just think I think it's all coded that you could never die playing Jumanji.
Gotcha.
and it's just a good game.
Let's-
I think that's the thing that makes me sad is I think whoever cursed Jumanji or the board came to be is just a good vibe. And everybody's been misinterpreting it and having a bad time and then being like, nobody should play that game. It gets really spooky and scary and it can ruin your life. And I'm like, did it ruin your life? Because it went back in time and guess what? It changed Alan's life for the better and now he loves his dad. So don't tell me that the game's a bad vibe.
You know, I guess the best argument for you, the fact is that every single time Jumanji has restarted with the pieces, so it means that everyone must finish a game.
Yeah.
Unless you die, in which case...
Yeah, but I don't think anyone can die, otherwise the game would always be partially played.
Yeah. Well, I guess Jumanji is a win then, yeah.
I think it might be the hero of the film?
Yeah, but again, what is the message that they've taught it? To keep moving forward?
Oh, you can't think of it as a message. You can't think of it as a. I just think Jumanji can do two things right. It can give you a good spook, and if you've got
Let's not give that a pro. Let's
if
not
you
give that a
can-
pro.
and if you-
It seemed like it traumatized a boy for 26
he
years in the
forgot
jungle.
by the end. He forgot by the end.
Oh, that's going in the subconscious, okay? I can tell you right now, he's going to be
fine.
terrified.
It's fine.
Terrified.
Look, we'll end the concept of the game. So basically, we get this great big set with water streaming around and
The whole house
alligators,
feels-
the
yes.
house splits in half. The lion comes out.
Yeah.
The one of my favorite moments. I love the floor becoming quicksand.
Yes.
I like the effect of him being stuck in it.
Yeah.
I think the spiders have not held up. I think they
No,
looked quite bad.
but I remember the spiders being terrifying. The
Same.
gooey fangs. It's the I remember so distinctly. You remember how he goes to run and get a shovel?
Yeah.
And then he runs downstairs and the shed's locked, so he smacks the lock with the
Yeah.
shovel. He gives a look to the camera, a fourth wall break, if you will. I remember being so distinctly as a child being like, coming to terms of what like a fourth wall break was.
That was because it unlocked my mind when it happened, and I was like, "Wow, I was obsessed with whatever the fuck this was
Me
as a
too,
kid."
right? I remember
Yeah.
being like, not confused, but I was almost just like, what are they doing here? Because I remember just the look being like, I'm confused. Now I'm like, of course, what they're doing. But that's really, I don't know. I'm glad you had a similar core memory of
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
because it's out of nowhere, and
It
it's just
is.
really odd.
Well,
Because
it's,
the movies,
it's a good bit. Just like, oh,
Yeah.
whoop-de-doop-de, like,
Yeah.
womp womp. But it's his little monkey face. He's got
It
his little
must be-
eyes just like, looking at your soul.
I would love to know what overcomes a director when they're just like, you know what you should do on this take? Just like look at the camera.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, okay. Have we done that at all thus far? No.
No,
But it'll
no.
work here. Just look
this
at the camera.
bit alone works.
Yeah.
And you know what? It does.
Yeah. But because they're in Jumanji
Mm.
and playing it, is he looking at the camera or is he sentient?
I think he's looking at the board game owner, you know, the Jumanji of it all, Mr. Jumanji or Mrs. Jumanji, Jumanji,
Yeah.
and sort of going, buddy, come on, you know? I think that's the vibe.
By this point, we're also to believe that I guess Robin Williams and Bonnie Hunt fell in love. Good for them.
Good for them.
I think also
I think they're both very traumatized and also
They're just
very,
trauma bonding.
very emotionally, you know, stunted.
that's right.
It's the
Imagine falling in love due to a game that technically never existed.
It seems like you were all for Jumanji moments ago, and now you're thinking Jumanji can't make people fall in love. You know what? I'm back on side. Jumanji's the new Tinder.
It is.
Yeah.
It's everything you.
Yeah.
If tell you what, struggling with love, roll a 5 or 8.
This is how they got the idea for Black Mirror as well. That San Junipero one, just
yeah,
like
it's totally Jumanji.
yeah, you play a game of Jumanji, and that's how you know that's the one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I still stand by it. I don't think Jumanji's ever harmed a fly. It hasn't. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Was anyone harmed at the end of this film? They all get sucked into the game.
Yeah,
Great.
Van
Love it.
Pelt's fucked up.
Let's unpack this ending.
Yeah, everyone sucked back in. We're teleported back to when they started playing the game in 1996.
Yeah.
Alan and Sarah are young. Young Alan.
Yeah.
They go sick. Everything's back to normal. As you say, their memories they're losing the memory.
Well, they're like, yeah, I'm beginning to forget what it was like to be an adult, so I'm going to kiss you now.
yes.
And you're like, okay, I guess that's one way to forget the fact you lived another 26 years of life.
Yeah.
And then we cut forward in time.
To 1995, back to current modern day, or wherever it was.
Yep.
They're at a Christmas party. The parishes have not perished, or
Yep.
they've perished, but Alan's taken over the family business.
Yeah, no, his dad's on the phone.
Oh, he is.
Yeah,
Yes, that's true.
So he didn't die of a broken heart.
yeah, that bum is.
We assume the mum's probably dead.
Yeah.
We assume the mystical homeless man is I don't know.
Unhoused now because Parish Shoe Factory did
He's
well.
just sending somebody else to their parents' grave. Just being like, oh, he's just in another town over. Just sending people to graves.
Here's the thing: every town has its own Jumanji, and every town has its bum. Directing people.
They
to
work
the sad...
in tandem.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people are put on this earth.
Do we think he was the game master?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, you said
he
it.
totally
Yes.
Was.
100%.
He totally was, right?
Yes, for
Oh
sure
my
he was.
God.
He lives on this earth to do two things: give you a fresh pair of clothes and send you to a grave.
Oh yeah, it really is a start.
And that's why the game can't hurt you. He would never hurt a fly.
Again, he just directs you to a grave.
Sorry, he would never, because he's like, that's what'll happen if you don't mend this relationship.
You say that now, we actually get not only does Jumanji not harm you, it may also
It
save
saves
a
lives.
Yeah, damn.
Oh wow! Oh my god! Is Jumanji the fucking hero or what? But I don't understand if they forget their memories, how they remember who these kids are.
I don't think they forget their memories. I think they just forget what the pain of being an adult is like. They're like, oh, my back feels very nimble. I think they still have 40 years of memories, 26 years being incredibly traumatic and sad. I mean, one, I thought they should just immediately buy stocks in IBM.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Do we think... So what they did was they then found out who these people were and then asked them to work with them because they were in marketing so that they could attempt to save them.
Yes.
So they went out of their ways to form a connection and hire these two people to make sure they didn't die.
Yes. In which case, they definitely had their memories.
Yeah, but they have to. But the way that the movie sort of presents it is like they just ended up working together.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't feel like they sought them out. I guess they say that they're waiting for them when they arrive.
I think they're sort of, I guess because, that's what I'm saying, like, because they've inherited the house somehow, or she's bought it, maybe they're slightly linked somehow. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But they freak out when they say they're going to drive because they would have perished in that car accident.
Yeah.
And now,
Which is a fun moment. I do like when they're like, no!
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. So I guess, Jumanji saves lives, mends relationships, doesn't hurt a fly, and we know who made it.
Yeah. Wow, we actually solved a lot of things today, huh?
This is the best conversation I've ever had with you.
Yeah.
Solved my other problems.
You gotta let it go.
I know. I know.
Carl, who would watch Jumanji?
I think if you're prepared to open your mind, Jumanji is a pretty beautiful film about some really beautiful things.
Yeah.
And Jumanji is pro them all.
List them.
Sons and dads.
Yep.
Mothers and daughters.
Did I get mentored, that son and dad thing? What did he learn from that?
He told the truth. He learned to stand up to his dad.
Yeah.
I
Stand
think
with his dad. That's what
he was like,
that's
I'm
what
not.
the
He was
metaphor-
essentially just like, I'm not going to fear my dad.
Yes.
And my dad, while being too harsh on me, doesn't actually want him to fear me either.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Because he goes up and he's like, I'm sorry for the things I said. And the dad's like, well, I'm actually sorry too.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I need you to know I fucked up that shoe machine. And the dad's like, thank you for telling me that's the right thing to do.
Exactly. And
So-
also just the fact he's like, by the way, Carl has essentially invented Michael Jordans. You gotta jump on that now, Dad. Okay?
Yeah.
That's gonna make you a trillionaire.
Mm.
What if Air was just, spliced in with this, you
Oh
know?
my God. If somebody just crossed Air and Jumanji and Zathura, I mean, I can't wait to watch. I'm going to tell you right now, unless I can't remember if I mentioned it last week in the segment or not. I was also obsessed with Zathura.
I love Zafira. I just remember being. Listen, I was a snob, but
It was no Jumanji.
It was Space
but
Jumanji.
It
It was Space
great.
Jumanji.
It was
and there was
Space
some good
Jumanji.
stuff. There was some good stuff there.
And Josh Hutcherson and that kid from Crazy Stupid
that
Love.
kid.
Yeah.
Oh, and
And
Kristen Stewart.
Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
Dax Shepard.
Tim Robbins.
Tim Robbins. It's just an all-star cast.
Yeah. For 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. Did I recommend this movie? I don't know if I did. Look, this is simply a fun,
It was a little
fast
freebie.
paced.
It was a freebie for us.
Yeah.
We're just surprised. I was looking up at the critic stuff of why people didn't like this. There was one take that I was like, you know what? Maybe fair enough. They did say a lot of the fear and the horror was almost tied to like Africa. I thought that was quite an interesting take of sort of like, here's the fears of 90s America. Yep, that's interesting. The rest of it was just sort of CGI's a bit of a mess and Robin Williams isn't doing what he does best, which I guess was Mork
It
and
is
Mindy.
not. It doesn't feel Robin Williams.
No.
I will say he's not giving a classic Robin Williams performance.
I think that's my perception of Robin Williams. I'm always surprised when people are like, he's this zany, wacky character, where I've just seen him as very serious monologue man for all my life.
He's the person that says the word whittle like this. Look, I think this is. I think it. Obviously, it's probably. I mean, with nostalgia on and stuff, but. I mean, I know 1995 was like a pretty massive time for independent cinema and movies in general and what a blockbuster was forming into. So I can understand why maybe Jumanji struggled to find its footing. It was a box office hit though.
Yeah.
Like it's a raging
I
success.
think that surely that's just like the independent cinemas rising up.
Yeah.
People being like a bit like the 80s.
I think people were getting snooty, but I think by this time this is clearly a movie brimming with effort.
Yeah.
Like, and in terms of special effects, but also I do really think the first half of the movie has a lot going for it. It's
second
a
half-
shame,
the
it's
second-
a shame
the
it runs out of steam.
I think it's still got it there.
I think it's caught in a groove and
Yeah.
then doesn't really know what to do with itself. I think because there is a lot of fun mystery to the beginning of it that once they are just playing the game, it's a shame there's not more to it.
I will say though, for a second act, it's one of the better disaster movies. Every new thing that gets brought up, I feel like you look at like, I don't know, 2012 or like that sort of disaster movie. It's pretty same. It's a big
Yeah.
thing getting destroyed. This one's an alligator. This one's it's like it's
Yeah.
fun. It's real
While
good.
it's repetitive, it's never boring because
No.
they do get to change up all of those things.
Yeah.
So, honestly, if you've never actually seen Jumanji, give it a watch. It's just a fun watch.
Yeah.
It's a good fun family film, and I like that it's a bit spooky.
Mm.
So I think it's for anybody that enjoys Hocus Pocus. Oscar, who would watch Jumanji?
Gotta tell you, I despise Hocus Pocus, but I only watched it once.
I didn't like it either.
No.
But I just don't know why people are like, oh, Hocus Pocus is the definitive Halloween movie. And I'm like, I'd watch Jumanji on Halloween.
I think so. I don't really.
It's spooky and nighttimey and dreary enough.
yeah,
And then ends on Christmas.
it does.
It's clearly a Halloween
Which
film.
I feel like, honestly, after Halloween's done, it feels like Christmas really ramps up, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Halloween marks the beginning
We don't
of
have
Christmas.
we don't have like a Thanksgiving when is Thanksgiving? That's November, right?
It is Thanksgiving, but we don't have that.
We
So
don't-
it's
we don't- we
Halloween
don't have
into
that,
Christmas.
but I feel like that's a transitional period. Whereas in Australia, it's like Halloween and then dead sunny, very hot. You're getting Christmas. You know,
Yeah.
pretty aggressive. Who would watch Jumanji? Oh, Alan fans.
Big Alan Parrish fans.
Big Alan. I did some puns as well. I don't know how to put it into the podcast. You want me to read it out some?
Yeah, go for it.
You got the Good Alan Hunting. You got Dead Parent Society. This one was fun. Parish Allen. That's Patch Allen or Patch Adams. And then you got one Allen photo. So I guess for that bit, yeah. No.
What about RVA, Runaway Vacation Alan?
I did want to pitch it to you. I couldn't think of any
Yeah.
more. Good Morning Vietnam.
What about instead of old dogs, just frozen monkeys?
I loved this as a kid. I think it still holds up. I'd recommend it to anybody. Honestly, good for us, huh? Did a nice Who Would Watch This film.
What a reward.
Yeah.
We deserve it.
I think, and you said like it's been like crossed like 1 million on Letterboxd. People are still watching this one. I think it's still got something to it. I'm just a happy recommend, huh?
Aw.
Yeah, nice little recommend. Nothing all wholesome about that.
Incredible. Well, join us next week when we review Zathura.
Zathura.
And if you'd like to recommend a movie, you can email us at askwwwtpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, we are getting out of here because it's late and I'm tired.
Tired. Not of the movie though. Check out the movie.
Definitely not of the movie. Jumanji saves lives, wouldn't hurt a fly, and men's relationships.
Thank you for listening. Bye.